Hi, I'm Margarita Paulitis from Raw, Real, Organic, Authentic Results, and welcome to the Raw podcast. As an integrated trauma-informed coach and a narcissistic abuse specialist, it is my mission to empower you to heal, to grow, and to really thrive in the aftermath of narcissistic abuse. I truly believe that every single person has the inherent capacity to overcome adversity and create a life filled with joy, filled with purpose, and filled with fulfillment. My hope is that you find the answers to the questions that you have become curious about. I am committed to helping you reclaim your power, find healing, and create a life filled with meaning and happiness. Hi, it's Margarita from Raw, Real, Organic, Authentic Results. And in this podcast, I really want to have a look at the psychology of narcissistic mirroring. So we've all heard, no doubt, the fairy tale Snow White, of mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And this question has been asked by many people, but you know what? It goes so far beyond just physical appearance, right? It really does touch on a deeper psychological disorder called narcissistic mirroring. Now, narcissistic mirroring is when individuals with narcissistic tendencies actually project their own image onto you in order to gain admiration and validation. And it's incredibly manipulative. The tactics that they use can be incredibly damaging for those of you on the receiving end. But we've got to ask what drives this behavior, and how does this affect both the narcissist and actually us as well? So let's have a look at this a little bit more so that you understand actually what narcissistic mirroring is, because it can be very hard to pick up. As I said before, it's a tendency that they use. It's a tactic that they use when they need to feel like they can manipulate others into seeing them in a positive light. So this behavior involves them projecting their own desired image, what they desire for others to see them as, in order to gain that admiration and validation of themselves. And they use this technique to create that false sense of closeness and connection with you, which can be really, really convincing, right? And hard to resist, because all of a sudden we think, oh my goodness, they actually get me. And when you feel like somebody gets you, it creates that codependency. But the thing is, they are consistently seeking attention and approval for others, and they will actually do whatever it takes to get it. But it's not just about this behavior and their need for attention, it's also about their need for control. Because you know what, narcissists often see themselves as superior to others, and they actually they literally believe that they have the right to control and manipulate those around them. So by projecting their own image onto others, they can now control how they are perceived by others, by you, and actually maintain their sense of superiority. But you know what? It's actually a complex physiological disorder, and it actually involves several different factors. And one of the primary factors is their need for admiration and validation. And because it is such a deep-seated, deep-rooted insecurity and lack of self-esteem, they often feel that void, that emptiness, and they need to fill that. And another factor that contributes to narcissistic mirroring is a narcissist's need for control. So narcissists often see themselves as superior to others and believe that they actually have the right to control and manipulate you. So by projecting their own image onto others, they can now start to control how they are perceived by others, which gives them and helps them maintain their sense of superiority. They are driven by fear and abandonment. As said, they have deep-seated factors. They have deep-seated fears of being rejected or abandoned by others. And they actually They need and they use their need for admiration and validation as a way of preventing this to happen. So by projecting their own image onto others, they create this false sense of connection and closeness, which of course helps them feel, more secure in their relationships. But as I mentioned before, it is really hard to detect because it involves subtle behaviors, and these subtle behaviors can actually be overlooked. So let's have a look at some of the traits that are associated with this mirroring. So flattery is a big one. They are incredibly skilled at flattery, of making you feel very special, like you are the only person in the world. And of course, because you attract this narcissist, it means that something else has happened in your past life, and all of a sudden you'll be thinking, as I mentioned before, wow, this person actually gets me. I feel like they love me so much. I've been waiting for this praise my whole life. And all of a sudden you feel that connection and that closeness, but they're mimicking you. They have the mimicking behavior and mannerisms of those around you, so that they do create that sense of familiarity and connection. They often idealize you and they put you on a pedestal. And this may seem perfect, and flawless, which makes it really difficult for you to be able to see through the mirroring. And because they project their own image onto you in order to gain admiration and validation, they may see others as reflections of themselves rather than as individuals in their own unique right. Narcissistic mirroring has a profound effect and a profound impact on your relationship. Don't mistake that, because for the victim, for you, it can lead to confusing feelings, self-doubt and trauma. And you will know what I'm talking about if you have gone through this self-doubt, the feeling like you are not worthy enough, that you are starting to doubt your own beliefs, your own thoughts, because you've been brainwashed. Victims of narcissistic mirroring may feel as though they're being manipulated or used, and actually may struggle to understand why your relationship feels so one-sided. So for the narcissist, the impact of this behavior can actually be equally damaging, because narcissists often struggle with feelings of emptiness and worthlessness too. And their need for that admiration and validation never is fully satisfied. And this leads to that cycle of manipulation and control that's ultimately self-destructive. So in some cases, narcissistic mirroring also leads to serious forms of abuse. And it's often emotional abuse, but also often it's psychological abuse, but also physical abuse. When it feels as though their control over the victim, over you, is actually slipping away, their extreme behavior starts to happen because they need to maintain that sense of power and sense of superiority over you. So here's the thing though, narcissistic healing is a process. It may be as if you're looking down a tunnel, a deep black void, going, I'm never going to come out of this. But the thing is, I've been where you are and I have come out of it. So I will walk you through this healing journey. I will walk you through the trauma that you're feeling to rebuild your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-belief. And it can happen. So please reach out to me. Let's get you into recover, reboot and refuel, and get you on your way to actually living a life free from this destructive, toxic behavior. I hope this has helped. Reach out to me with much love. Margarita.